Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So it is the following day after I've already closed the trade. So what I'm going to do is kind of show you guys everything, how my trading week went so far. I had a very rough summer period. Lots of break-even trades, lots of losing trades, some winning trades. Made me come back from a little bit of the losing trades, but it wasn't enough. Summer and Q3 has always been not the best period for me. Typically, that's when I see a losing month, maybe even a break-even month. Now that we're getting out of the summer period, things are starting to actually turn. And I decided to do a new account just to track my statistics for this specific quarter. So everything is looking great so far. My deposit landed on Friday, but I didn't trade till Sunday on my birthday, August 9th. So I'm gonna go over the two trades that I made the most money on this week. I only had about 2 losing trades, which I will go over that as well in this video, just so you guys can understand why I took those trades and why I took those losses and how I made those losses back. But anyways, so this is my trading journal called Edgewonk. And I've been using the journal for quite some time, so I just opened up this account. As you guys can see, I'm already up about 8%, and with the last trade I made almost 4%. On the last trade. So anyways, so Sunday was a green day, it was a green day, so we made money. We lost money on Monday, and then we had green days for the rest of the trading week. So in terms of statistics, we have about a 71% win rate, 5 winners, 2 losing trades. Pretty great so far. And then, you know, obviously every trade I called was a signal. So this was last night's trade, TP1 hit, TP2 hit, which it's still floating in profit. It's almost at TP3. We're about 15, 20 pips away, but I already closed the position. So this was the long position we took last night. Short position we took last night, which was also a winner. And then this is a breakdown that I dropped where, you know, I was explaining kind of the shorts. Then over here we have that I ended up passing a 400K challenge from FMS. And then we have, you know, take profit hits. So I called out 2 signals at this point in time. As you can see, position 1 and then position 2. So I'll drop that in the breakdown as well. And then my 2 losers were pretty much here, kind of explaining everything else. So this is where I took my 2 losing trades within this range up here. So now when it comes down to the profits, this was last night's trade on the GU buy position. As you guys could see, GBPUSD, I ended up taking a long position, made about $16,000. And so you guys can see that this is a live account, blocking out my account number and stuff so I don't get any hackers. But as you guys can see, let's see sell. So we caught the move on the way down as well. Made about $20,000 in this position, and again, it's the same live account. As you can see, it's literally the same program, you know, it's not a screenshot. So anyways, let's get into the breakdown portion of this video. Every other link will be in my description for those of you who are interested in joining the Signal service. For those of you who are interested in the trading journal platform that I use, I'll have a link in the description as well, and hopefully you guys are able to benefit off of this video and potentially catch some of the same moves and understand how I trade. All right, everybody, so I'm gonna be pretty much breaking down how my trading week pretty much went. These are the major trades that I want to highlight because these are trades that you could potentially learn from. So one thing that I wanted to show you guys really quickly is, so I am actually revamping the course, and what I'm doing in the course as well is that I am actually I did some modifications and tweaks to my trading plan, and this is what I've incorporated in the trading plan so you guys can kind of get the understanding of how I actually trade. So trade off of price action and volume only. The market only moves off of price action and volume, which is true, right? It doesn't move off of indicators, it doesn't move off of anything else other than price action, volume, supply and demand, basically, right? So we're going to be focused on buying and selling pressure, supply and demand, looking for buying pressure at areas of supply and demand, or, you know, looking for selling pressures at areas of support and resistance. So we're going to be looking for buying pressure at areas of support, and we're going to be looking for selling pressure at areas of resistance. So it's pretty simple: buy at support, sell at resistance. I don't know why there's so many typos in here. Buy at support, sell at resistance. Anyways, I'm kind of ignore that for now. and then, you know, stick to your strategy. There is no holy grail. So when it came down to me actually trading, so what we're going to do is kind of move from left to right, and then I'll explain every single trade, right? So when it came down to me actually taking these last few trades, what I noticed was, or not what I noticed, what I read based off of price action was that over here in this first yellow box is that we have resistance, we have support, we have a level of supply, and then we have a level of demand. So once price actually ended up closing back under, and then we had another closure back under, that's when I kind of actually started to look for more short positions. When this bearish candlestick closed under resistance, and then price had came up, retested resistance, and resistance held as resistance, and then price continued to actually trade lower. That's when I said, okay, well, if price, you know, once price actually had rejected resistance, retested, rejected, and closed under again, price has a pretty high probability of traveling back down to our level of support, which is going to be roughly 138. So that was the main bias that I had here, was short. Now, why did I actually decide to go short? So as you could see, these first two trades weren't necessarily the best trades. I was definitely not happy with this trade. I was taking this trade more based off of a little bit of a moving average setup here, which I've actually not decided to eliminate, but I've decided to lower the tier of the moving averages in terms of importance on taking a trade off of there, because I've just had a lot of trades that didn't necessarily work out in my favor over the last 3 months. Reviewing my journal, that it didn't make sense to me for me to continue to take trades just based off the moving averages. Now, I didn't just take the trade based off the moving average. We had support throughout here, price broke under, retested, and we had the rejection along with the moving average. So it looked like a nice trend continuation. Took that position, stop loss above this resistance here, which this is the major level of support and resistance I was looking at within this time frame, right? So took a loss on that position, which is quite normal. Then once price actually came back up, rejected the 50 SMA, and then retested and rejected and closed under support again, I decided to take a more of an aggressive position, which again just didn't play out. This one was a good trade. This one, not that it was a bad trade, but it wasn't one of those trades where I was really like, you know what, I'm gonna put a 2% risk or even a 3% risk on this position because I'm so confident in it. It was more or less like a 50-50 in terms of probability, and that's a risk I decided to take, and I paid for that. So hopefully you guys, you know, understand the game of probabilities and, you know, learn from my mistakes within this video, because I've already learned from my mistakes. This is why it's so important to use a journal, and the journal, again, I'm using is Edge One, because I've been getting a bunch of questions like crazy being asked about this journal. So now that price had kind of closed under, it hit my stop loss here, decided to walk away from the charts for a little bit, came back, and what I was looking at was on the hour time frame, right? Price still closed under the 50 SMA, right? Once price gave me that closure under the 50 SMA, what I did was I pulled out my Fibonacci retracement tool, went from the low, or from the previous swing high to the swing low, or from our lower high to our lower low point, and saw that price actually came all the way to 618. And then on the 30-minute time frame, as it was engulfing, I decided to actually take a position here, because if we go down to the 15-minute time frame, we have a bearish variation off of this 618. So I took a little bit more of an aggressive entry point here. My entry was somewhere once price actually broke under the closures of these candlesticks here. That's why I decided to take my entry a little bit more aggressive, but the risk to reward was there. So I decided to place my stop loss above the 618, and then my targets was again 138, pretty much almost 138 flat, right? So that's why I decided to take that position. It was a trend continuation trade, which if we go in my journal, it says 618 pullback. This was a fib setup. Price consolidated for quite some time, went in my favor, hit one of my targets, came back up to draw down, and then went all the way back down to our third target, making us about 3 times our risk. Now, I know everybody in the signal room probably didn't close at 3 times or 3 times their risk, just because the way their psychology may work. But this is a trade that ran to 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio, which I was quite happy with. Some time had passed. I went to sleep. This target got hit during New York session, as you can see, pretty much fairly quickly after that. Price went up and came back to this level of support and resistance. So again, I decided to continue to go short, because again, the confirmations that we have here on this daily time frame, that price is now trading under resistance. So if we're trading under resistance, I'm going to be looking for price to test the nearest major level of support and resistance, and that's kind of exactly what happened here. So again, the probability of price continuing to trade lower is a lot higher, especially that we're maintaining this lower low and lower high type of market structure within this consolidation range. So let me kind of mark that off for you guys. So we have lower high, and again, this was the closure and break under on the daily. This is the retest on the daily, and then we had to move down, lower low, lower high, and then we have lower low, and then we have high. Now we're in a consolidation range because we broke the highs, but again, we didn't go past resistance. Now, when it came to me taking this position, again, we're going to be looking at buying at areas of support and selling at areas of resistance. Now, and that's not necessarily always going to be the case, right? There's sometimes where on the higher time frames we closed under, but on the lower time frames we're still trading above. So I like to wait, right? On the 4-hour time frame, this is a major level. And how I like to mark off my major levels is by looking at the certain types of reactions we get off of these levels. So notice how once price pretty much hit this area, sometimes it had an immediate rejection and we came right back down to support, or sometimes we had a little bit of consolidation, then we came right back down to support. Vice versa, we had an immediate reaction after hitting support and we came right back up to resistance. So I was reading price, and price had a higher probability of going back down to support. Why? Again, on the daily time frame, when it came to this trade, let me get rid of this one. When it came to this trade, right, it looked like price could have continued to the upside. But when it came to price action itself, you want to pay attention to as much detail as possible. So we're still trading under the 50-day simple moving average, right? Notice how price didn't close above the high of the previous day. Notice how price tested resistance and then closed right under, right? These are important little details, and also you have to keep in mind that we're in a box. This is an entire range of consolidation here. Now, with the closure of the current daily time frame, it does look like price could actually break to the upside and hit 140, so I'm going to be looking for that for next week. But when it came to this trade, again, you know, it's these little details I read on the daily time frame, and I do apologize if you hear my dog playing with her bowl in the background. But now when you come to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that price tested, rejected resistance, and we're still maintaining under this 50 SMA. I'm going to be expecting a little bit of a pullback and then potentially a move long again. But when it came to this trade, I saw that we had a nice rejection, a nice bearish variation pattern here. And then all I simply waited for about an hour or two before session was an entry. And this was my entry point right here. So my entry was after this bearish engulfing here because it showed signs of continuation. And when it came down to my stop loss, I wanted to place my stop loss above this high and above resistance. So that's where that went. And it still gave me about 3 times my risk. So about a 21 pip stop for about a 65 potential gain. And that's where I called the position here. Oh, and in terms of me making my loss back, I forgot to actually mention because I was scrolling through the signals, right? So as you can see, there's position 1 and then position 2. I had taken a position here, which I believe we actually ended up holding, right? Which this is the position that went up to like 3 times its risk. Let's just say it was roughly there, right? And then I had also taken another position somewhere along, I believe, this area here. Now, I decided to take the second position somewhere here or here. Let me actually go back in the signals just to verify. So this is the second position. We entered at 1.38357. So 1.38357 is like right here, right? So the entry is right here. The stop loss wasn't too great. The stop loss was, I believe, like 14, 15 pips, and the target was still here as well for about 2 times our risk. So I decided to enter another position here based off of this continuation level. And again, you know, something that I did was point A, point B, saw price pull back 38.20, put the stop loss at the 50%, and then look for a continued move down. I forgot to mention that to you guys. So that's why we had 2 positions. One position made the loss back plus a little bit of profit. This was just straight profit here, right? I completely forgot to mention that to you guys. But yeah, when it comes to this position there, what I was going to show you guys was simply just the entry point here. So this was the entry on the sell, and as you can see, I entered this trade at about 1 in the morning, and then, you know, take profits weren't hit until the following morning, as you can see. So we entered this trade at about 1 in the morning, then GU hit our first take profit at 9:30 a.m. and then we hit our second take profit at 11:30, and then just before market close we hit our third take profit for 3 times our risk. And then at that point in time, I saw price was rejecting support. And then that's when I said, okay, you know, price has rejected support multiple times already. And I'm actually, instead of continuing to go with this breakdown, I'll drop the video from last night. Probably, so if you guys want to see like the live trade, because I did take the live trade, hold on, give me 1 second. So this is the video recording from last night. As you could see, I had taken the trade and just pretty much started recording, and I broke down why I decided to actually take this position. So if you guys want to see this video, I'll have it in the free Telegram, so you guys can join that with the link in the description. But again, it's the same probability mindset, right? Price is now trading at support. What's the probability for price to go back to resistance within this entire consolidation range? Now, we were so close to stop loss here, but luckily my stop loss was decent enough that we didn't get stopped out literally by an entire pip, not even a pip. This probably isn't accurate in terms of entry, and because I kind of just placed it, but I know our stop was 137,900, and then price is now almost trading at our resistance level. So luckily I was asleep throughout all of this, and I woke up to our price trading at our second take profit, and then now we're almost at our third take profit, which is 880, which we're about 10 pips away. So also a pretty great trade, and again, it's the same probability mindset, right? Price is now trading at a major level of support within this entire range. What's the probability for price to come back to resistance, especially on the weekly time frame? If you look at the weekly, right, week after week after week after week, price has struggled to close under this area. You look at the daily time frame, same thing, right? Look how price has struggled to always break this area, right? What's the probability of price coming back up to resistance? I would say it's fairly high, and that's a risk I decided to take that ended up paying off. Now, the timing wasn't the best. I took this trade very early during the Asian session just because I thought that price was going to give us a big reaction with this type of move that we had previously, right? But that wasn't the case. We almost got stopped out by a pip, but luckily we didn't, and then, you know, price came up and hit our take profits. Now, just imagine yourself if you're trading that position live. That position would have been so hard for you to hold. You probably would have closed, especially if you're a beginner and you see price almost at your stop loss. You'll be like, whatever, I'll save these few extra $100. But then look what happened right after that. So definitely something I incorporated in my journal was to wait a little bit better for the best entry signal possible, because I took an aggressive entry signal pretty much right after this candlestick decided to actually close, and when I decided to take the entry, because we came back down, retested support twice and rejected. But luckily the trade played out in our favor. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the breakdown, and I'll talk to you soon. So hopefully you guys did enjoy that breakdown. It was a little bit of a longer one, but I wanted to break down the best trades of the week, and so you guys could learn a little bit from my mistakes of what I made this week and how I'm gonna be improving for next week. So anyways, I'll talk to everybody in the future videos. I'm gonna be trying to post like a mix of trading videos and videos of just kind of my life in general, like little vlogs and stuff. I'm gonna be moving, so I am gonna be recording that process as well. I actually did just buy another property, so it should be dope. Super excited. But yeah, we'll wait and see what's up. So anyways, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week. And again, you could join the free Telegram for free content. And if you want to see the live video of me actually taking the trade and me explaining why I'm taking this trade, then just go to the free Telegram. The video's there. And I'll talk to everybody in the future. Hopefully you guys always seek to improve and understand that trading is a game of probabilities, and you're not going to win every trade. So it's important to manage your risk as best as possible. So I'll talk to everybody later. Peace out, guys.